This is TWiT.
Why bother? Why does Google even make a phone? The one rumor I thought was really interesting is that it might not be expensive, that it might be a $600 phone, not a $1,000 phone. That's what they should be doing, right? That's what the Nexus line was. The whole idea originally of Google making phones was an inexpensive phone developers could use to test their Android apps on. And then the public got wind of it, and it turned out they were the best Android phones out there because they were pure. So Google, I think, probably said, oh, we can make some money on this. But in typical Google fashion, they lost the thread.
With Google, didn't they want a pure phone out there? Wasn't it similar to Microsoft deciding to finally get into tablets and hardware?
But do you need
where they wanted to say, here's how it's done. Here's how you guys should be.
Yes, but they don't need that anymore because there's so many companies that make basically Android phones. Even Samsung. I mean, I'm looking at this, the Fold. It's really pretty much, it's got some Samsung in it. Not got a lot of Samsung in it. It's pretty much a stock Android device. Even, Samsung used to customize the settings like crazy. It's basically gotten much more stock. And certainly OnePlus and Motorola and many of the other companies are just making, they're not customizing it that much, which is a good thing. You're more likely to get your updates more quickly. So then that begs the question, why do we need a new Pixel phone?
I always thought that, Google's rationale for doing this has changed over the years, but it seems to me like one reason why they continue to do it is at least to give them the ability to exert some leverage over the OEMs if they need to. And their need to do that wanes, and it ebbs and flows over the years, depending on, at one point Samsung was becoming so dominant with Android that they were worried about having a counterweight to it.
That's right.
And Samsung was even talking about forking Android, and they had such a large share of the market that I don't think they would have executed it well, but they could have tried to do that. And so it seems to me it's a little bit like don't make us have to make Pixel a big deal.
Okay. Is that still the rationale?
I don't know. It may still be useful to them to have it something that they continue to do for that sort of strategic, purpose. They certainly, if they wanted it to be something that more people bought, they would be going about it very differently.
Yes. Well, yeah, they'd have more carrier deals for one thing.
Yeah.
I have to say, this Samsung Fold doesn't have Android 11 on it. Very few phones do. So that's one thing. Apple, a new version of iOS comes out like iOS 14 did last week, and they get 50% adoption within a week. Everybody jumps on it, and that's good all around. It's good for security. It's good for developers because they know what people are going to be using. So maybe that's it. Maybe they're just trying to say, look, we got to get Android 11 going. Also, Google arguably does the best cameras out there. Right? I mean, I think all of the flagship phones now, iPhone, Samsung, have excellent cameras.
But I always have felt like the Pixels are the best Android phones overall.
Yeah.
Samsung has always made the sexiest phones.
Yes.
But so maybe, another question aside from how long will they continue to do this, because no one ever goes broke betting against Google getting bored of something. But why haven't the Pixels taken off more? Is it just the carrier stuff? Like they haven't been able to get the deals like Samsung does, or
they certainly do. They do well with the A versions, right? The 4A's done very well. The 3A did very well. Those are the phones to get. They're the less expensive, lower end versions of the Pixel phones. They're more like the old Nexus line, and they've sold well. But Pixels in general do not sell well. So, I'm sorry. What were you saying, Dwight?
I think it's distribution. I don't think
they just don't get.
I don't think they're very good at getting the products out there. They introduce them. They're good products, but in terms of promoting them and making sure that every carrier has them, that that all the best sources for getting them have them. I have heard from a lot of people who say, "I'd like to buy a Pixel phone. How do I do that?" And it's often kind of it's not intuitive for a lot of people.
That underscores that there are really two markets for Android devices. There's the enthusiast market. Those people know how to get a Pixel phone.
Right.
But those people also know all the problems the Pixel phones have, 2 times there have been issues. And the word goes out very quickly in the enthusiast community. Then there is the vast majority of Android buyers who are not sophisticated users. They're buying, most of the time, they're buying Android devices because they're the less expensive phone or the phone they get for free from their carrier, that kind of thing. Pixel phone's not even on their radar. They wouldn't, that's not even, they don't even know it exists probably. And if they did, you're right, they don't know how to get it. So it doesn't work on either for either of the 2 Android markets. So it's probably
I think if they were better at distribution, if they were better at marketing it, if they put it where it needed to be, and had just like a killer phone. I mean, I heard you say, I think that they have the Pixels have the best cameras. I don't think that's true. I think
not anymore.
Certainly, the last Pixel was outdone by the iPhone, particularly with night mode. And I just think that they have a really a missed opportunity, because Google has its name. It has one of the biggest websites there is, but they don't do much there in order to promote it.
They don't have ads for the Pixel for sure, right? Okay, all right. I'm just wondering, so maybe we'll see Google, what we would look for Wednesday is maybe Google announcing carrier partnerships, because that would be a big deal for Google.
And this is a 5G phone too, so
yeah,
that kind of changes the game a little.
Yeah, maybe a little.
Leo, what was the consensus, back to the original question, which was, is this the last Pixel phone? What was the consensus on the shows this week?
Nobody knows, but everybody kind of agreed it should be. In fact,
why? I don't want it to be.
Do you have a Pixel? Do you use the Pixel?
Yeah, I have had them. I'm back on an iPhone now, but go ahead, Peter.
Oh, well, I was going to say, I think part of it is that Google's a big company, and they obviously need Android to be successful.
Right.
They don't need the Pixel to be successful.
And it's not.
I think,
good news.
And it's not. But I mean, I think that there are things that are existential or mission critical for big companies, and there are things that are not. And it's not a surprise that things that are not are not going to get as much support or attention, or maybe the best people internally. And not to denigrate anybody who works on the Pixel phone by implying that, but you can sometimes tell internally, you can sometimes tell a CEO's priorities around what they think is the most important thing for them to be working on. And I would say that for Sundar, it's probably not the Pixel phone. It's probably more around AI more generally, and probably like Google Assistant in terms of consumer facing products.